Imagine this: you're lost in the wilderness, struggling to survive. The cold bites at your skin, exhaustion weighs you down, and hope seems distant. Suddenly, you feel it, a presence beside you. You can't see them, but they're there, guiding you, reassuring you, pushing you forward. This is the third man syndrome, a phenomenon that has baffled scientists, explorers, and spiritual thinkers for over a century. In this episode, we'll explore its origins, real-life cases, and theories. The term third man syndrome traces back to one of the most harrowing survival stories in history. In 1914, Sir Ernest Shackleton led the Endurance expedition to Antarctica. After their ship was trapped and destroyed by ice, Shackleton and his crew faced impossible odds: bitter cold, starvation, and isolation. In a desperate bid for survival, Shackleton and two companions trekked across South Georgia Island. This journey through jagged mountains and glaciers was their only hope of reaching a whaling station for rescue. Later, Shackleton described something extraordinary in his memoirs. He wrote, and I quote, "It seemed to me often that we were four, not three." Each man, independently, felt the presence of a fourth entity, a comforting, guiding force that helped them push through. This experience became known as the third man syndrome, the perceived presence of an unseen companion during moments of extreme duress. Shackleton's story wasn't unique. Over the years, many others have reported similar experiences. Take Reinhold Messner, one of the greatest mountaineers in history. While climbing the treacherous Nanga Parbat, Messner described a presence that shared his burden, encouraging him to keep moving when he felt he could go no further. Charles Lindbergh, during his historic solo flight from New York to Paris in 1927, experienced extreme fatigue and solitude. He later described the presence of ethereal beings in his cockpit. These presences, he claimed, spoke to him, reassured him, and helped him maintain focus, guiding him to safety. Ron DeFrancesco was one of the last people to escape the South Tower of the World Trade Center before it collapsed. Overwhelmed by smoke and heat, he contemplated giving up, but he felt a mysterious presence urging him to keep moving. This presence even directed him to find a way out and saving his life. In 2001, explorers Anne Bancroft and Liv Arneson became the first women to ski across Antarctica. They described feeling a comforting presence that helped them through moments of exhaustion and isolation during the expedition. In 1983, Jim Savigny was caught in an avalanche while climbing Mount Edith Cavell in Canada. He described feeling utterly helpless until he sensed a reassuring presence that encouraged him to dig his way out of the snow and survive. While attempting to reach the summit of Everest in 1933, Frank Smythe felt an unseen companion walking with him. He even prepared a piece of cake to share with this invisible friend. This sense of companionship gave him the strength to continue. These accounts suggest that the third man is not tied to a specific faith or belief system, as it spans various cultures, religions, and professions. John Geiger's book, The Third Man Factor: Surviving the Impossible, explores the phenomenon where people in life-threatening situations sense an unseen presence that provides comfort, guidance, or strength. This third man is often described as a spiritual or protective force. When faced with life-threatening danger, the brain may create a hallucination or presence to provide comfort and guidance. This could be a form of dissociation, where the mind separates from reality to maintain focus and clarity. It may also be linked to an ancient survival instinct, where the brain generates an imaginary companion to enhance decision-making under extreme conditions. Extreme fear, stress, or exhaustion can cause the brain to release endorphins, natural painkillers, and dopamine, reward and motivation chemical. This chemical reaction may create a sense of euphoria or the perception of a guiding presence. Similar experiences occur in near-death experiences, NDEs, or extreme meditative states. Many third-man accounts occur in high-altitude mountaineering, deep-sea diving, or extreme endurance events, all environments where oxygen deprivation can cause hallucinations. A lack of oxygen, hypoxia, dehydration, and exhaustion could alter brain function, leading to vivid sensory distortions or hallucinations of a presence. The bicameral mind theory. This theory, proposed by psychologist Julian Jaynes, suggests that early humans experienced their thoughts as external voices or presences. In moments of extreme stress, the brain might revert to this older cognitive state, making it feel like an external entity is guiding the individual. When the human mind reaches a breaking point, it might create a presence to provide hope, guidance, and emotional support. This presence could act as a projection of inner strength, similar to the way some people turn to religion or spiritual beliefs in times of crisis. Studies on imaginary companions in childhood suggest the mind is capable of creating unseen figures for comfort. Some believe the third man is a spiritual entity, a guardian angel, spirit guide, or deceased loved one. Many survivors report a feeling of peace and protection rather than fear, suggesting a benevolent force at work. In religious contexts, this has been compared to experiences of divine intervention or miraculous guidance. Some theories suggest that consciousness is not confined to the brain, and under extreme circumstances, people may tap into a universal field of awareness. The third man could be an interaction with a higher self, an alternate version of the person, or an unseen intelligence beyond normal perception. One case of third man syndrome that truly defies logical explanation is the experience of Peter Hillary, the son of legendary mountaineer Sir Edmund Hillary. Peter Hillary, an experienced mountaineer, was climbing Mount Everest in 1995 when he encountered something unexplainable. As he ascended the mountain in brutal conditions, he became fatigued, dehydrated, and dangerously close to collapse. At a critical moment, he felt a strong presence walking beside him, a figure he couldn't see, but whose presence was undeniable. This unseen companion spoke to him, offering guidance and reassurance, telling him where to step and encouraging him to continue. This alone isn't unusual for third man syndrome. However, the most bizarre part came later. When he reached camp, he found that his tent had already been set up, even though no one had gone ahead of him. His stove was burning, and there was a hot drink waiting for him, an impossible detail, as no one else had been at the site before his arrival. Other climbers confirmed no one had gone ahead to set up his camp. Hillary himself later admitted that he had no rational explanation for how his camp was prepared, but he strongly believed that his mysterious companion had somehow helped him survive. This case challenges rational explanations like hallucinations or neurological survival responses, leaving open the question, was this truly a spirit, a guardian entity, or something beyond human understanding? Throughout history, countless survivors have told eerily similar stories. Stories of an unseen presence that appears in their darkest moments, offering guidance, strength, and even saving their lives. Some believe it's a survival mechanism, a trick of the mind under extreme stress. Others insist it's something more, a guardian, a spirit, or even divine intervention. But then there are the cases, like Peter Hillary's, where the presence leaves behind real-world evidence, and logic simply falls short. So, what is the third man? A hallucination, a manifestation of our own will to survive, or a force beyond our understanding, watching over us when we need it most? Maybe we'll never know for sure, but one thing is certain, when we're at the edge of life and death, sometimes we are not alone. Thanks for joining me on this episode of ParaTalk.